Thank you, Adrian, for sharing the advice of how to approach sort of setback and as you say, a really stressful time, and keeping your eye on the ball and making sure you have me time out of all the even if it's an intense 16-hour workday, as you mentioned. But I want to now sort of get us to understanding how you, as someone so new to the legal industry, I know going back, of course, you're getting the academics sorted out, but how did you actually secure your contract, your training contract, and in fact your job?
I was just trying everything. Pulling on my own network, my parents' network, seeing whether anyone could help. At least help me get some form of a legal experience. Not necessarily to be able to work for them in the future, but just to have something to say in an interview or in an application form. Just something to stand myself out. I mean, that's probably thanks to my old BD background. I've learned that interview is also a BD process, a selling process. As you're selling yourself, you're marketing yourself, and also to just do whatever you think is necessary. For example, when I was trying to structure a way to get a foothold into the industry, I was just emailing random partners that I could find on LinkedIn, doing things that I might be interested, or I might be able to sell myself on. So to be honest, like I email partners who are sitting at the China desk, just telling those partners that, look, this is my background. I'm interested in getting a foothold in the industry. Can we have Can I buy you a coffee and we can have a chat, like just 5 minutes at a time, just for me to understand a bit more about the legal industry. And I know you're in the China desk. I know I do X, Y, Z. I've done business in China before for a US company. So hopefully I could also offer some of the on the ground info for you. So offer something that might pique their interest, etc. Just anything to establish a linkage. And I mentioned a lawsuit with my old company. I even emailed that particular partner who graciously invited me to his firm to have a coffee. So I actually met him, had a good chat about my own company and what it does, what the market is like, how people position themselves to be better suited to be chosen as a trainee. So I've met tons of these people. I've even met a partner from one of the more prestigious law firms in the UK who invited me in and just outright offered me an interview with the HR. So he kickstarted me in the process. So I skipped basically the application form process and jumped straight to the HR and partner interview. And after that, he liked me a lot, and he put me into the process and asked me to just quickly fill out the necessary forms, and then he will put me in the process. So I have that one lined up, but I ended up choosing a firm that I have no connection in, and I just applied blindly. But having gone through that process, at least I have something to say, because I make sure to bring that up in the interview, not just to show that I'm interested in law, but also to show that I have the drive to achieve what I set my eyes on. I might not know everything or exactly what I do, but I will have the drive to find out and do it properly, and or at least try my very best to do it, make it happen.
Yeah, amazing. Even coming from the BD world, even that example, blows me away. And it's funny when you talk about like writing those emails, like that's like the cold calling, right? Cold emailing that salespeople, have to do as part of day to day. And obviously you're doing this and applying what you've learned there into this making this pivot. Now, if you were to look back, what would you tell the past you, like the Adrian of the now? If you could go back to that moment where you were thinking of making that change, what would you tell the past you in making this bold career change?
If I had to do it again, I would start those networking conversations, those conversations about, getting a foothold in the industry a lot sooner. So I go in more prepared. You can only do so much Googling. It's something that I didn't really appreciate, but talking to people is still the best way to understand people's industry. So you talk about AIs and all that stuff, all the technological advancement in the last 10 years, but ultimately nothing can replace people, and we just need to talk. And if I had to do it again, I would have started the conversation before I even gone back to the UK. I would talk to Hong Kong practitioners. I would talk to everyone that I could, that would give me the time of the day. I mean, when I was back in the UK doing the cold emailing thing, I think out of the 40, 50 partners, only about 3 of them gave me the time of the day. So that was about my hit rate.
It's a 10% hit rate. Still a good one. Wow. Okay. Okay. And what do you think you gain? I mean, obviously professionally, it looks like this has been the right move for you, but what do you think you've gained personally from this career change?
Oh, from a personal perspective, I gain insight into a world where I never even knew existed. Like legal world goes far deeper. Like for my role currently as a banking lawyer, I'm working as a quasi banker, and the stuff, the finance stuff, the banking stuff, I never knew existed. It helped me with my personal finances on a grander level, on a more personal level. I think one of the things I've learned is how to deal with people. Ultimately, being a transaction lawyer is a people's business. We need to know people, need to know how to deal with people, and need to find a way that is mutually satisfactory to both parties or to all parties involved, whilst not compromising a principle. And this is something that I take to everyone with transaction, and also it's something that I think is transferable to anywhere, whatever you do. So that's one of my biggest takeaway from making this one.
Amazing. So what advice would you then give to someone who is starting out in their careers? Like we have people in the audience who are fresh out of school or trying to make that first job move, or maybe really early in their career, first 0 to 3 years. What advice would you give to someone who's just starting out?
My general advice would be to don't just write off your current career to you will have doubts. Everyone will have doubts. Like I have had my doubts, especially first week of the job as a trainee. The third day on the job, actually, I was working till 4 a.m. in the office with an associate as a trainee. The sadder part is, he says, about 12 a.m., he says, it's my birthday today. And he's 12 a.m., not celebrating his birthday, sitting in the office.
God.
And we worked till 4 a.m. and I was the first one to sing happy birthday to him. So that was that. But at least, but then I was like, maybe I'm in over my head a little bit, but just stick with it. Especially if it's a career that you think you're sure you're passionate in, you know that you have interest in, and you see a good future in. Don't let those tiny moments of doubt sway you. Stick with it longer, and if you are in doubt, talk to people. Again, it's everything is to me. 99% of the job you do is a people business. Like every industry, every job requires certain people skills. You need to be able to talk to people. Like people say BD. Like BD is not just I need to, BD with clients. You need to BD internally. You need to talk to within internally, talk to your senior, establish a profile internally. And just because you have doubt doesn't mean that when you talk to people internally, they will say, "Oh, yeah, you're not here for the long haul." No, everyone has had their doubts. If you tell people about it, it could well be a bonding moment. And if you really aren't comfortable talking to people within, your own company or firm, join industry events. There are tons of industry events out there that you can meet like-minded people or people from similar industry, get to know them, do some networking. Then you can share whatever doubt you may have or may not have, and see that everyone is struggling, or everyone may be struggling about the same thing. But at the process, you could support each other and grow in the process. And in the end, if you really have decided to make the transition, at least you have gained some friends within the industry that could help you make that transition.
Yeah.
Don't go in cold like me.
But that's really good advice, like being comfortable about your vulnerability, and that actually draws people to you too, and connecting around that to find your support tribe.